This is what happens when your neighbour decides to light a bonfire on the hottest time of the year with a stiff wind. This is the new field I bought only 2 months ago. 5 fire engines here, 3 fields burnt out. Luckily the house didn't catch fire. We've had to evacuate the cows from here, and this is what my field now looks like. How about that? Okay, I'm sitting in the garden at the moment with a feeling of calmness, apart from this crazy Jack Russell I've got here. Say hello, buddy. All right. And I'm about to show you a video that wasn't about calmness. It's about fire. So I thought I'd just give you a bit of context in this video, because normally when I do a video there's a kind of story and narrative that I kind of try and do where I explain what I'm doing properly, and this was not like that at all. This was totally unplanned. It's all filmed on my phone and it was a bit of chaos. So let me just give you a little bit of brief insight before you see the footage I filmed on my phone. So last Thursday night, it was Thursday night, and I was just sat on the sofa, and to be honest, I come in from work, it was about 5:20, and I was just sat down, and I was just like, you know when you sort of come in, you just want a breather and you sit there, and I was like a bit and I got a text message, and I thought, sometimes you don't always check your text, do you? But I did this time, and the text message, and I quote, said, "Rich, you might want to come and look at your field, it's on fire." You might not get here bloody quick. You might want to come and look at your field, it's on fire. And I looked at this and I thought, what's you on about? What field? I've got more than one. And it was from a guy, I won't say his name, it was a guy who's next door neighbour to my new field, and I tried phoning him back, couldn't get a reply, there was no answer. So at that point then, I thought, oh my God, action stations, I've got to think, I'm trying to think what to do. And I'm thinking, I can't phone the fire brigade yet because I don't know which field it is or what's actually happening. And I had visions that maybe the round bales were on fire or something like that. So I didn't know what to do. So I shouted for Jack. Sam and Harry were out. I shouted for Jack. I said, "Jack, get and help me quick." And I grabbed 3 fire extinguishers. And luckily, not only did I grab the fire extinguishers, I also grabbed 3 shovels, because I always had in this vision in my mind of when you see these American fires and that, they beat the fire out, which was quite lucky I did that. So I jumped in the Land Rover and drove along to where the black bales were, and I could see the smoke then, and I could see the smoke going into the field, my new field. So then I ran into there and saw it was on fire, but I couldn't see any fire extinguishers. Fire engines. So at that point, Jack's looking up what 3 words, and I'm phoning the fire brigade, because I'm thinking I need to tell them where it is, and it's hard to explain a field, isn't it? But as I looked across then, just so I was speaking to the fire lady, or the person on the other end on the fire service, I noticed the flashing lights of a fire engine in the field next door. And I'm still not sure what's going on. You'll see in the footage when I arrive and I see the fire burning, but I'm not sure what's going on. And then to cut a long story short, I then proceeded to film bits and pieces in between speaking to the fire brigade and kind of trying to sort out what's going on. So you don't see kind of the whole interaction. I wasn't going to film me talking to the fire brigade. They were trying to do their job. The last thing they wanted is me trying to be a film star, or not film star, a film crew. But at the same time, I wanted to document what was going on because it was so bizarre and so extreme. So I filmed what I could around the field. And there is a point where what I was doing, and it's not obvious in the video until you know the background, is that the fire tender at one field, the guys told me there was another fire tender coming, and he'd just gone to fill up with water. Now at that point, my field is still on fire, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm not going to do anything with that because the fire crew will be here in a minute. Anyway, time went on, and they took a long time. So in the end, you'll see in the video, they arrive at the bottom, and this is a bit I didn't film because I was actually doing something. I actually then realised I need to sort something out myself because the fire crew were busy trying to put out a blooming burning holly bush at the bottom of the field. So that was where the shovels came in handy, and me and Jack then, the fire was going up the field, me and Jack actually beat the flames out with the shovels. And I wish I'd done that earlier, but actually the flames weren't moving that fast because the grass was very short. So actually it was going up a sort of wave towards the cows that were trapped at the top. We managed to get the flames out, so then by that time the fire crew came up, and then they were concentrating on the going through the gate into the field next door because the neighbour's field was going up, which was closer to a house. Anyway, it was all kicking off. Watch this video and see how it works. But the main message is here: don't light a bonfire at this time of year, especially on a windy day. But we got there in the end. The fire's out. There will be an update video on it later on. But yeah, it's not the best Thursday night I've had. Oh yeah, and I should say a little bit of a health warning. There is a little bit of the F word in this. As you well know, I don't really like swearing on videos, but to be honest, when there's extreme situations like this, I think it's justified. I haven't beeped it out because I wanted to show you the frustration in it. I kind of think sometimes a bit of swearing is kind of okay. I don't do it generally in my videos because I know that young kids watch, and I know it's kind of like, but you know, hey ho, this is the reality. This is how I was feeling at the time. So apologies for that bit. I think you'll agree it's probably justified. Right, so this is my field on fire because the neighbour next door set fire to, lit a bonfire I believe, and the ash is blown over into my field. I've got 3 cows in this field. They've burnt up. Look, we better get it down. Here's the fire brigade now. Hi mate, can you get a tender in here? I got 3 cows in here. Yeah. Is that bloke lit a bonfire over there?
I don't know mate.
Because it's blown over from this side, isn't it?
Yeah. You want to get rid of that lot there.
Yeah. Look at this. Right. So there's 3 cows. There must be 3 cows at the top of the field, trapped.
You might have to run along the top road then.
Well, let's get out and see what's happening. Can you believe that? Right. Look at that. It's burning on the fence. I can't. Right. You have to go and get that post out, Jack.
Okay.
The post down here.
What do you mean?
Right, don't normally record stuff like this, but this is an extreme situation. We've got a fire in our field. The only grass I've got this year, and it's on fire. For fuck's sake. This one, take the middle one out. Right, can I leave you there? That one to pull back.
Yeah.
Pull back.
Yes.
And that one there.
Yes. Yes.
Just keep an eye out for any cows. And turn the Land Rover off as well, right? I don't know whether I can get the fire brigade in here. Oh my god. Oh. So it's swept across from here. Swept right across, gone from that patch there, right across through there. Right. Fuck's sake. Look at this. This isn't my field, but this is the one where I've got bales from. Christ almighty, there was a huge hole in the hedge. Oh, I bet you he lit that fire. They're going across, and I bet you that is the culprit. Look at that. Look at that. He's lit a bloody bonfire in the middle of a heat wave, the tinder dry ground, and it's stretched across. I'm not ashamed to say it showing this, what an idiot. And look at that, it's swept right across. It's right across here. Fuck me, that tree's on fire. Look at it. Look. Oh my God. Tree's on fire, the hedge is gone. Look at this. Oh, fucking look at that. That's one intense fire. Look at that. Look at that, that's on fire. Guys, these guys are trying to put that out, and this frame is spreading up here. Look at it. Fucking hell. What I'm worried about is trying to put this out. Right, look at it spreading up. I can't do anything about this. It's spreading up, look at it. The guy who did it has disappeared, of course he has. He's up there in the trees. Well, the cow, where are the cows? Unbelievable. They're in the wrong field anyway, they need to be over here. I'm helpless, I can't do anything. I'm waiting for the fire engine guys to come back, and this is just spreading up the field. Fuck's sake. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Oh, they're trying to put the tree out. Sun jack's down the bottom. Fucking hell. It's going to be too late in a minute for this field. Fuck's sake. Look at this, every single post is burnt out. Well, there's a fire engine come. This Sally area is right. I'm going to turn this off now, and we'll talk later, because the lady who owns the place has come and it's caused a major issue. We'll deal with this later, alright? Right. We've actually got it out in my field. The neighbours and doing the neighbours' field. So I've spoken to the lady who's responsible. The lady who lit a bonfire. Can you believe it? She lit a bonfire. People don't think, do they? Just got to think. Lit a bonfire in this weather. Unbelievable. Right, I'm just walking. We're trying to work out what the best plan is. We're probably going to move some cattle. It's smouldering. They've got at least three fire engines here. The hedge is all on fire. Look at this. This is what you can see. It's only superficial damage on the top. It's burnt off the dry stubble, but underneath this will all recover. I'm confident of that. What I'm more worried about is the fact I need a new hedge, new fence. There is no fence left there at all. Look at it. Yeah. So the actual field's out. Look how close it got to the wood. If that had gone, those trees would have gone up. They're as dry as anything under there. What's really the problem is this hedge. So the field is out. We managed to put it out, didn't we, Jack?
Yeah.
Before the fire brigade got here. We used these shovels and we whacked the flames out with those. Because actually it's... Well, the worrying thing is if it actually catches fire again. Because the problem is what you need is just another spark and it'll all go up. Look, this hedge is still on fire. Fuck it hell, look at that. That must have been... What? Hey? Well, that must have been a really intense fire in the hedge, because everything's burnt out completely. But it's so dry, you see, it hasn't rained for months. Look at this. Look at this, the fence posts are smoking. Look at it. It's still all glowing. The trouble is all this has probably got embers in it. I can feel it's still hot, isn't it? Yeah. It's still hot, isn't it? So this isn't safe to leave, really. Hey? Okay. We'll just tell her what's going on. The dangers of a fire in a field if you don't look after it. If you leave fires unattended. Do not light fires in the middle of summer when it's really hot and windy. Do not. Just do not. Look at that. So the worrying thing is the cows are still at the top. So what we're going to do, we are going to move the cows. I think the answer is we're going to move the cows across the road, because although they're up there quite happy in the field, they're actually stuck. And what worries me is these flames will travel further up the field and they'll catch fire again. So what we've got to do, I think, is move them. Look at this. Well, we probably can't move them until the fire brigade have finished. See, look, actually the cattle are quite calm. If you look, they're up the top there. You can see through the haze. And these guys are working hard. On. 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 All right. Come on. Oh. Go on. So we're here and look at this. They're busy jetting down. Look, the guys are on. There we go. Look, let me just show you the blokes. They're just jetting down the hedge, and this is ultimately what they're going to have to do for quite a while, because the hedge is on fire on both sides of the field, and it's going to smoulder for a long time, and you can't just leave that smouldering for very long. So can't certainly leave it overnight. So they're going to have to deal with this for quite a while. My role here is really done. I'm going to pull out in a minute because I can't do anything. It's all a bit of a disaster. What a plonker, absolute plonker, lighting a bonfire this time of year. Honestly, there's the guys there. I think there's four fire engines here now. There's one there, one down the bottom, one here, and there's another one the other side, because it actually was going towards the house there. Look at this. Let me just look down here. Can you believe what that? So let me just show you what's happened. It's burnt off all the dry stubble. Then if you look underneath, the grass, look, there's green there. This will come back. That's green grass. It will grow back. It's absolutely fine in a kind of ecological sense. What I really didn't need was to lose this field, because this isn't going to grow back quick, is it? of all the years for me to lose the field, I can't afford to lose this field really. I needed this for grazing. Okay, I only had 3 cows out here, but I only put 3 cows out here because it's dry at the moment. And I was thinking what will happen is it'll green up more in the next kind of couple of weeks, because the 3 cows won't put a lot of pressure on it. But now it's not going to green up for ages. My only thought is I'm wondering whether actually I might put a chain arrows over it, because I can't see that. If you look, it is quite interesting. I'm doing this now. If you look where they've driven, the ash has actually disappeared. Let me just show you that. Look, can you see that? Where they've driven it, the ash is gone. So I'm wondering if I chain arrow it, then that ash will actually come off. You know, it'll go down in the soil, and that'll give a jackgrass a better chance, because it's only surface ash. Look, let me just move it with my feet, and that goes. So I'm wondering whether I ought to chain arrow that, and then it will give the grass a better chance. Actually, haven't lost that much grass really. I'm not worried about the grass. Haven't lost much grass at all, really, because there wasn't a lot here. Thank God this happened after we made hay. Okay, it's quite panoramic, isn't it? This has never happened to me before. I hope it's never happened again. Look at that. That's what I pay my taxes for. Thanks for the guys. Getting out of this field now. The guy whose wife is responsible is just over the top, up the top there, and I don't really want to chat to her at the moment, and there's nothing more I can do here, so I'm leaving the scene. I think that's probably really. So I'm gonna get out of here. Fair play to my son Jack. He was legendary. He came along with me, and we actually put the fire out at the top of the field with a couple of shovels. Look, here's the shovels. We just beat the flames down with those. Would you believe it? Luckily it didn't go in the wood, because if you look under there, that's tinder dry, all the leaves and stuff. So anyway, I'm going now.